There's nothing you can do to go to heaven. That's a very bold statement, but it's something most people do not understand. And it's very clearly written in the Bible. But also, there's nothing you can do to go to hell. What on earth does that mean? Predestination. It is very clear in the Bible that you do not get to decide if you will be a saint or if you get to go to heaven. It says in the Bible, I'm going to read it here just to start off with, and then we'll go over it. We're going to start with Ephesians. And this is Ephesians verse 5. One sec. Yeah. Chapter 1, verse 5. So, he predestined us for adoption to sonship through Jesus Christ in accordance with his pleasure and will. Okay, what does that mean? Well, first, you have to start by looking at the Greek. So, what does the word predestined mean? It sounds very Latin, predestined, But if you read it in the original context, the word is prehorizo, meaning before the horizon or in the light, right? So you have pre, which is a suffix, prefix for before. Horizo is the horizon, right? And we are in the horizon. We're before the light, or we're in the light. Now, this concept is completely missed by everybody. All right? It's this idea that God knows everything, and he always has known everything before anything existed. And then he decided to make everything. Now, the act of making something that you already know what it's going to do is in essence deciding what it will do. If I build a hammer, I know that hammer is going to hit things, etc. That's a very blunt analogy, no pun intended. But other than that, there's many other verses to back this up. And you may be saying now, no. 3:16, God so loved the world, whoever believe in Jesus, thou shalt be saved, right? That is completely out of context. It's whoever is saved, not whoever decides to be saved. It's like saying whoever is 300 pounds is fat. I mean, obviously, it's not it's a descriptive. It's not a optional thing, okay? Now, to make this more clear, right? This verse, Romans 9, 22? Or, excuse me. I used to have these memorized. Yeah, we're going to start with 9:11 through 24. Now, all these verses noted about predestination are from Paul. So take with that what you will. But Romans 9:11 through 24, I'm going to read some of it. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her that the elder shall serve the younger, as it is written, Jacob I have loved, but Esau I have hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? Ooh, very good point. Paul says, is God unrighteous for deciding before either of these two are born that one is going to suffer and one is going to have joy? It's nothing to do with what either Esau or Jacob did. I decided they will do the things that will cause them the pain or the joy. God forbid, for he saith to Moses, I have mercy on whom I have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So that it is not of him that willeth, nor him that ruineth, but of God that soweth mercy. Okay, and there's more verses. The Bible is littered with predestination. And I've talked to people before And they are what you would call Arminianist. And they firmly believe that salvation is a choice, right? That you decide if you are going to be saved by accepting Jesus, right? Now, this stuff, it's very silly to me, because it's like saying, I say, Jesus is my Lord and Savior, and therefore I'm saved. I believe in him, right? Well, belief and actions go hand in hand, right? So if you believe something to be true, then you act in accordance with it. So therefore, then you have the actions, and, you know a tree by its fruits, right? But the actions are what are key. And God knew everything ahead of time and decided who will do what. It says right there, God soweth. Okay, so this is a real, I would almost say, problem in some sense, theologically, or I don't know, philosophically, because you've essentially stripped away any ability of anyone to control their own salvation. And the Bible gets even more clear on this. What does Revelations say about the end, right? It says the final trumpet call, or whatever, that the saints will be revealed in the Lamb's book of life, right? He has a list. It's the list of the saints and the lengths of the damned. All of everything is leading up to, finding out who are the saints. That's kind of like the whole thing. So here's the dilemma. There's nothing you can do to be saved, because your actions in and of themselves are pre-decided, is the essence, or at least they're decided enough so that the majority of your actions, or the key actions that you take in life, will lead to your salvation. It's a pretty, pretty crazy one. And this one, I struggled with this for years, and it actually propelled me to read the Bible more. And really, I wanted this not to be true. I really wanted this not to be true. I thought that this was defeating, because it's like, what's the point, And in a sense, it's actually freeing, because it takes the pressure off of you that there's nothing you can do. You just have to surrender. You just have to let go, and you have to know that, well, what'll happen will happen. I'll just have to keep living my life, and I'll move on from there. If I get saved, I get saved. If I don't, I don't. And, at the end of the day, what can you do, And there's a lot of trickiness to this stuff. And I've talked to many people about this. I've talked to very educated, very long-studied theologians about this stuff. And I have, I guess you could say we argued about it, but every time I was young, I was 17, I was 18, I was talking to these people, I would show the verses to their face, and I'd get pure denialism. No counter evidence, just they would try to explain it away. And they would say, no, you don't understand. It's more nuanced. It's more subtle. And you're not reading it in context or whatever. Look, I spent, hundreds of hours on this one thing, trying to understand it. I went over the Greek, I went over the Hebrew, the Latin. It's there. And there's way more proofs of it. Now, if you've never heard of this idea before, it may be shocking to you. And really, I think a lot of people are resistant to this idea. But, the facts are the facts. Now, if you want to talk more about this, you want to give it your best shot in telling me why this is not correct. I probably already heard it, but I'm happy to hear otherwise. So, leave a comment, talk about it. That's it for today. Thank you.